Okay, this is Fintan Moloney for XLR-Radio. I'm here with Billy Nasty. We're backstage. And first off, Billy, welcome to Limerick. I know you're no stranger to Ireland, as you have played here many times over the last few years, including Limerick. Am I right?
Yes, been here many times. Great place.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's go back to the start where you started, if that's okay, music-wise, as a DJ. Yeah. If you could tell me a bit about, you were around when the house music scene exploded in the UK in the 80s. Yes. But before that, you played a different kind of music. Am I right?
Yes. When I first bought turntables, it was 86. I was just coming out of 17. And we was playing more like hip-hop and funk and stuff like that. It was before house music and, before the explosion. But yeah, it was like rare groove, funk, hip-hop, go-go, stuff like that,
And what kind of led you into moving into house music then?
Well, it's always been like kind of, strong grooves, nice bass lines. Do you know what I mean? It constantly evolves. And it's like when I first started working at the record shop, Zoom Records in Camden, I think that's like working there and like kind of dealing with records from all over the world. That's when I properly got introduced to the most amazing dance music that was out at the time. So that's when I got inspired and really got into it.
And well, you were all there when dance music kicked off, of course, in the late 80s in the UK. Can you tell me a little bit about the scene back then and some of the happening clubs at the time?
In the early days, there was some great clubs. I mean, just in London, where I live, there was like the Ministry of Sound had just opened. They had a Friday night there called Open All Hours. Universal used to do the tribal gathering. They used to have a great night at Club UK in Wandsworth. It was just an interesting time. There was little clubs springing up, in most major towns, not just in the country but all over Europe. It's sometimes strange now to look back and realise that it's it's been over 20 years now, and it's like really here to stay. It won't never go.
And moving on from that then, I believe everybody knows you kick-started the commercial mix album with the Journeys by DJ series, which I remember when I was growing up was one of the first.
No, it was the first ever commercially available mix CD series and stuff like that. There was a guy called Tim Fielding who used to run Brainiac Records, and at the time I was a resident of the Brain Club, which was just in Wardour Street. So I was already doing mixtapes at the time. So because we were good friends and we was working together, he approached me to do it. So it was just like quite mad again to look back at it and realise what a monster it's become. It's quite a nice thing to have on your CV, I suppose.
Exactly, and went on to become a very successful series. But what you didn't mention is the award you won for that.
The award. Well, no, it was like I was in the Guinness Book of Records for doing. They'd done a Guinness Book of rap, dance, and techno in the early '90s, and I was mentioned in there. I didn't get an award. I just got a shout for it, but
Well, yeah, I suppose you can say you are in the Guinness Book of Records, right? For the first commercial mix album.
Yes, that's right.
Right, okay, and moving on from that, I noticed after, we'll say the Journeys by DJ's album came out, you moved into music production. Can you tell me some of the projects you got involved in then?
Yeah, well, I was working at the shop, and the shop had labels and stuff like that, so we started like me, Dave Weston and Steve Dubb, we done stuff under the name of Shiitake on Zoom Records. Then me and Dubby started working for Left Field's label Hard Hands, was doing things as Vinyl Blair. I've always, over the years, I've been quite lucky to work with really good producers and stuff like that. And, I've worked with Jags and Gary, who used to be in Sabres of Paradise and The Aloof. I've worked with Paul Daly from Left Field, I've been quite lucky, really, over the years to work with some cool people.
And you, throughout the 90s, did you move away from house music and you changed your music direction a little bit? Would that be correct? Did you...
I just think it evolved. I think that in the early days it was like kind of house and Balearic style and that. Then it was kind of as techno improved and the European sound come out, the European style of techno, I started moving more in towards that. So the 90s, it was more harder. I started Tortured Records and Electrics, and and now it's I've always seen myself as a techno DJ, but it's just you can only play what records are out there. So at the moment I'm still playing techno, but it's not as hard as it used to be. It's more funky and a bit more classic now. So.
Right, yeah, that kind of leads me into my next question. Along with DJing, and you did the music production, you got involved in club nights, you had an agency, or you're involved in an agency and a record label.
Yes.
So, I mean, can you tell me a little bit about the different projects there?
Well, first of all, you know, it was like the bookings it was getting really busy for me, so I decided that I wanted an agent just to look after my own stuff, and then we started getting people on, and people like Adam Bayer and Marco Corolla. So then when it got to the time where I wanted to start Tortured, you know, you said to people, I'm going to start a label, and you know, I already had good working relationships with them, so they were all really cool, and like, you know, give me releases and enable Tortured to really hit the ground running. So then at that time we was also looking after the boys' bookings and stuff like that. So, you know, Jim Masters, who used to run Open All Hours, he had a few spare dates at the end, and he said, you know, Tortured, I think, was a couple of years old. Do we wanted to do a party? And so we started Open the Torture at the end. We was doing every other Saturday, the last Saturday of every other month. We was there for 4.5 years, and it was the first club to bring like people over like UMEC and Bayer and stuff like that. So it all kind of it was around the same time. It's all a similar clique, you know.
And well, along with your various residencies and gigs around the world in the festival circuit, do you ever get a chance to relax, and what do you like to do to chill out?
When like during, you know, the weekends are quite mad and you don't get much sleep and stuff like that. During the week, just like to relax, you know, watch films, watch a bit of football, you know, and just generally recharge, you know, and just like listen to music, get your set ready for the following weekend, and then get back on it.
And with everything you've been involved with over the years, what are you involved with at the moment? Are you concentrating on DJing, or is it production, or what's your main focus at the moment?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a DJ. That's what I do. You know, it's like, but at the moment I am working a lot with me and Keith Tenniswood, Radioactive Man. We're in a band now called Radio Nasty. Craig Richards has just started a label called The Nothing Special, after his night, named after the night he does at Fabric. So that's been the first release on his label. We've had a couple of online kind of releases, and I'm basically going to be relaunching my labels Torture and Electrics this year. So me and Keith have already done a release for Electrics, which will be the first release. So at the moment it's about 70% concentrating on DJing, and then the rest is like production, but I am also preparing to relaunch the labels as well, so I'm working on all three levels at the moment.
Excellent. That leads me into what I was going to ask you. If people want to check out any stuff online, is there a good place to check out your material? Or
but basically if you go to my SoundCloud page, you know, every month I post up 2 mixes. There's a full track listing. It's downloadable, so fully up for people download and sharing with their friends. But I think there's about 10 mixes up there, some live for me in the clubs, but I think that's the best place for them to kind of hear, because it's proper quality, and that, not like when you watch things on YouTube recorded, you know, from the back of a club on someone's mobile phone. These are all real high quality, and it's the best place. So DJ Billy Nasty on SoundCloud.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's brilliant, Billy. Thanks for talking to us, and it was great to have you, and looking forward to checking out your set tonight here in Limerick.
Brilliant. Thanks for having us, and it's been a joy to talk to you.
Thanks, Billy.